Julie, where are you?
Huh? Oh, hey, sweetie. I'm just at the shops getting some food for dinner. There were a few things that I was missing, and I wanted to make your favorite meal tonight. I have quite a big announcement, and I thought it would be nice to have dinner together first.
Uh-huh, fine. But how many times have I told you to make sure that the house is spotless before I come back home from work? Huh?
What do you mean? I think the house is pretty clean already.
What on earth gave you that impression?
The fact that I've cleaned it today?
Well, you've done a pretty poor job. I'm sick and tired of telling you time and time again to clean the house. As my wife, you should do as I tell you. Not to mention that it's pretty much the only job you have all day. You don't even work, unlike me. Every day I have to go to work and spend hours at a job that I hate just so that I can earn the money to keep the both of us in a house. All I want is a clean place to come back to at the end of the day so that I don't have to do more work at home. Not to mention, why'd you leave so late to go and get whatever groceries you needed? It's already past 5. My dinner should be ready and waiting and hot on the table for me the moment I step through the front door. Just how useless can you be?
I don't even know what you're so upset about. What isn't tidy? Because I know that I've cleaned the house today, so there's absolutely nothing for you to be mad about.
Oh, you've tidied it all, huh? Then why is there a dirty plate and mug right by the sink? That doesn't scream tidy and clean to me.
Oh my god. Is that seriously what you're complaining about? 2 items?
And they're still right there, which proves that I'm right and you're wrong. You haven't cleaned today because if you had, they wouldn't be here.
They have literally only just been used. I had a quick snack and a drink before going to the shop, and I just didn't have time to wash them up yet. I was going to do it when I got back.
You're only saying that because you've been caught being a lazy slob. God, what kind of wife even are you if you can't even keep a house clean?
If you actually stopped being a drama queen for 1 second, you'd see that I've cleaned everything from top to bottom. I've also done all of the laundry, changed the sheets on our bed, and even managed to get those boxes of clothes to the charity so they could be sold there and stop cluttering up our house. So I think you'll find that I've done a lot today, even though I've not been feeling too great and have actually been sick a couple of times today.
Hang on a minute. What do you mean you've taken those boxes away? Why would you do that?
Huh? Because we've been talking about donating those clothes for quite a while now, but we've never actually gotten around to doing it. Even though we sorted out all of the things that we didn't want. I finally managed to get rid of them today.
I had clothes in there that I still wanted.
What? But you said that everything in those boxes was useless to you and that you didn't want them cluttering up your side of the wardrobe anymore.
Yes, well, I changed my mind. There were some things that I wasn't sure about getting rid of.
Well, I'm sorry, but the boxes are gone now. There's nothing I can do about it. Maybe we can just go and buy the things that you wanted to keep?
Or you could go and get all the boxes back from the charity so that I can sort through them all.
What? That's not really possible. I don't think you can just go and take your donation back off of a charity. Not to mention that I don't particularly want to do that. It would be super awkward, and I don't want to look like a mean person who can't even donate a few boxes of old clothes.
I don't care what you want. I want my clothes back ASAP. So you better go and get them, okay? As my wife, you have to do as I tell you.
If you're so bothered about your clothes, why don't you go and get them?
No, I've been working hard all day long, earning the money to keep us both alive with a roof over our head. I shouldn't have to go out and sort out your messes. You need to set things straight with the charity and get my things back. That's the least you can do.
But
I don't want any of your excuses. Just give me my things back.
that's not fair. The only reason why I got rid of them was because you said that you were sick and tired of all the boxes in the way. I even asked if you were sure about everything you were getting rid of, and you said you were. You said to stop bothering you about it and to just get rid of it all. So I did.
Well, you should have double-checked with me. And just so you know, I am definitely not going to get the stuff. That's your job as the wife.
Well, I just called them up and they apologized, but the clothes have already been shipped to a different store. We can't get them back.
Ugh, you're so useless. Just get back home and make dinner already. I'm starving.
Yes, I'll be there soon. I've also got something to tell you, and hopefully it'll help turn this evening around.
I don't see how that could happen, but whatever. Just hurry up.
I'll see you soon. Oh, Millie, I heard the news. I can't wait to meet my grandchild. Susan? What did Paul tell you? Of course. Who else would? Oh. That's not a problem, is it? I mean, after all, Paul is my son, and he's going to be the father of the child. Yes, I know. We just agreed not to tell anyone yet, as it's still early days and anything could happen. It's not uncommon for women to have miscarriages early into their pregnancies. I just didn't want to get people's hopes up in case something happens. Oh, don't be stupid. The only reason you'd have a miscarriage is if you don't do what you're supposed to do for the baby. You need to listen to me now, as I know what I'm doing. I'll make sure you give birth to a healthy child. First of all, you need to cut out all alcohol, sushi, coffee, and anything else that's bad for the baby. Although I suppose the pregnancy does explain why you've been getting fatter recently. I'm glad this is the reason, to be honest. I had been considering telling you to go to the gym. I can't have a fat daughter-in-law making my son look bad, you know? Excuse me? Did you just say I was getting fat? Well, yes, but it's only the truth. You're going to get much fatter now that you're pregnant. You just got to make sure you lose it all once you actually give birth. That is so rude. Even if I wasn't pregnant, whether or not I gain weight isn't any of your business. If Paul had a problem with it, he would talk to me about it, but at the end of the day, my figure and physique is up to me. Oh, don't be so dramatic. Besides, you're not even getting fat. It's just the baby. That still doesn't excuse your behavior. Yes, whatever. Look, I've got to go, but I'll be around later and I'll give you some books and other things to help you out. It's fine, Susan. I've got plenty of books on the way that I've ordered. Those are all nonsense. My books are the real deal that will teach you how to raise a big and strong child. Not one of those namby-pamby kids who cry over nothing nowadays. Susan, that's just wrong in so many ways. Look, I've really got to go. We'll talk more later. Paul? What on earth was that last night? I can't actually believe you behaved like that.
Millie? Jeez, what are you moaning about now? I mean, don't you ever do anything but complain?
Paul, I really think you need to stop acting like such a spoiled man-child right now.
What? You can't speak to me like that.
Oh, I can't? Then how come you got to speak to me like I was nothing but a piece of dirt last night? I mean, what even was that? Calling me too fat to eat with you? Even the waiter was appalled at what you said and that you ordered me a salad instead of what I wanted. You do realize that I'm 6 months pregnant, don't you? My stomach is going to be getting bigger than it is right now, and I'm definitely not going to stop eating just because you're too stupid to understand the process of pregnancy.
Being pregnant means you put on a little bit of weight. I know that, but you don't need to blow up as big as you have. You could definitely do with losing a few pounds. You look completely unattractive. I can hardly stand being seen in public with you because of how fat you are. If you want to continue being with me, then you're gonna have to lose some weight. That's all I can say.
Is that truly how you feel? You're actually giving me that ultimatum?
Yup.
I see. Very well then. You've just made my decision a whole lot easier.
Huh? Decision?
Yes. I've been thinking of it for a while now because your behavior is simply horrible. When we first got together, you were so sweet and kind and caring, but ever since we got married, you've turned into a vile, disrespectful, and vindictive man, and you're simply just not someone that I want to be with. And telling me that I'm getting too fat to be with you, simply because I'm pregnant, is honestly the last straw. If you're this kind of husband to me, I'd hate to see what kind of father you'd be like to my baby. So I'm leaving you.
What? What are you saying?
I'm saying that I want a divorce.
What? No. No way. You can't do that. You're pregnant with my child. You can't leave. I won't let you.
Well, considering I've already contacted some lawyers who have agreed to take on the divorce on my behalf, and I've already moved most of my stuff back home to my parents' house, there's nothing you can really do.
You've what? Wait, Millie, we can sort this out. You don't need to be so dramatic. I'm sure we can come to a compromise.
No, thank you. I've given you plenty of chances to talk to me, and all you've ever done is be rude and demeaning to me. I've had enough, and I'm definitely not going to let you do the same to my child. The papers will be in the mail for you.
Hang on, please, Millie. If you do this, then there's no chance that we'll ever get back together. Just know that I won't take you back, no matter how much you beg me to. I promise that I won't. You'll have to suffer being a single mother.
I don't mind that. Anything is better than being with you.
Please, Millie.
And just so you know, I'm going to go and treat myself to a great big delicious cookie and a glass of chocolate milk. And I'm not going to care about how I look because I'm happy with the fact that I'm carrying a wonderful child inside of me, and I want them to be happy and healthy. Goodbye, Paul. I did get my divorce from Paul, though it did have to be taken to court as he refused to sign the papers. Luckily, the judge ruled in my favor as he, too, thought that the way Paul treated me had been horrible. Paul was also ordered to pay me child support, which has helped me get everything ready for the arrival of my little boy, Sammy. I'm currently living with my parents, but they both love me greatly and are actually excited to become grandparents. I've also managed to get a stay-at-home job, so I'm saving up for my own apartment. Things might be a bit scary at the minute, as I'm having to do a lot of this by myself, but I am excited to start this next chapter of my life and look after my baby boy. The last I heard, Paul had to move back in with his mother, as the landlord kicked him out of the house for negligence as he hadn't bothered to clean anything after I left. He's currently staying at his mom's house, but things aren't great as both of them are too stubborn and lazy to actually do any housework. I just know that he has a long way to go before I let him try to be a father to my child. Hey, sweetie. I'm just texting you to remind you that I won't be home this week as I'm going to spend it with my dad. It's the anniversary of my mom's passing, and I want to make sure I'm there for my dad, and I want to visit her grave to pay my respects. I know a week is kind of a long time, but it's a really difficult time for both me and my dad. I just want to make sure that I can give him the comfort that he needs and that he deserves.
Oh, is it that time already? I guess the year's gone by quickly, huh?
Yeah, I don't know where the time's gone, to be honest, but I still miss her like crazy, and it feels surreal that she isn't actually here with me anymore.
Yeah, I guess it can be kind of difficult, but don't you think a week is a bit too long to spend away from home? I mean, do you really want to spend a whole week with your dad? He's not the easiest man to get along with.
My dad's fine to get along with. You just find it difficult because he's my dad. I bet every guy feels like that when they're married to his daughter. Dads will always be protective over their daughters. It's just the way things are. Doesn't mean he doesn't like you or anything.
I guess, but who's gonna cook all my meals and clean the house whilst you're away? These are important jobs and they really need doing. You can't just abandon them like you are.
Well, you're a grown man, aren't you? You know how to cook and clean, so you can tidy up after yourself whilst I'm not there. It's not that difficult.
I just don't think it's necessary for you to spend a whole week away. You're the wife, so you should do all the cooking and cleaning and all the other household chores. As the man, I work and make the money, whilst you take care of the house. That's how this thing goes.
By this thing, do you mean our marriage?
Well, yeah.
I thought so. Well, for your information, that's not how our relationship works at all. I'm not just a housewife who cleans up after you. I have my own job, which contributes towards the household bills, and we share the responsibility of everything else. That's how our relationship works.
Seriously? But you're the woman. It's your job to do all the things that I don't want to do.
What are you even on about right now?
Look, I'm just telling you right now that I'm not cleaning or cooking or anything. If the house is in a state when you get back, then that's your problem that you're gonna have to fix. I'm not doing it for you.
Do you even hear yourself right now? Are you really being that selfish that you'd actually start a fight on the most difficult week of the year for me? Over some stupid cleaning and cooking?
Well, it's not my fault you're leaving for the week. If you don't want an argument or a mess to clean up when you get back, then I suggest you don't go to your dad's house at all.
What? You know how important this week is to me. My dad and I always go to my mom's grave together on the anniversary of her death, so that we can pay our respects together. I'm not going to miss out on doing that simply because you can't be bothered to look after yourself for a week.
Well, fine then, but don't say I didn't warn you.
You know what? I can't deal with you right now. We can deal with this argument when I get back, but for now, I'm going to head over to my dad's house and I'm going to enjoy spending a bit of time with him whilst I'm still able to.
Fine then, but just know you're the worst wife ever.
Whatever. Why don't you go and act like a child somewhere else? As long as you're not bothering me with your pettiness, I don't care.
I'm not being a child. You are.
Yes, because that text isn't completely childish.
Whatever. Just leave me alone.
Gladly. I'll see you in a week.
Sure. Hey, Selena.
Marcus? How come you're messaging me? Has something happened? Is everything okay? Is James okay?
Huh? Oh, yeah, everything's fine. I just wanted to ask, is today the day that your mom died?
Oh, yeah, it is.
Would you say that this is the worst day of your life?
Well, yeah, obviously. Why?
Well, I just wanted to let you know that this day is about to get a whole lot more worse for you.
Huh? Why's that?
Well, after your argument with my brother the other day, he came to me and told me everything that happened.
Hang on. Do you mean when he was telling me that I shouldn't come and spend time with my dad and pay respects to my mom simply so that he wouldn't have to cook or clean up after himself? That argument?
Yup, that's the one.
Okay then, what about it?
Well, he told me what happened, and I have to say that I agree with him. As his wife, you really should do your duties, which, for you, include cooking and cleaning and maintaining the house for him.
Look, Marcus, this really has nothing to do with you, and to be honest, I really couldn't care less about this conversation today. I've got other, much more important things on my mind.
What, like your dead mother? She's not going anywhere, so there's no need for you to be so short. You got time for a conversation. Besides, she's dead, so she really doesn't take the precedence over my brother, your husband, does he?
She might be dead, but she's still nowhere near as cold as you are.
Jeez, calm down. I messaged you because I have something very important that I need to tell you.
What is it then?
James has decided to divorce you.
What?
Yeah, he said that, considering you're not actually acting like a wife, he doesn't see the point of being married to you. He'd rather find someone who's gonna do the things that a wife should, without having to be told what to do.
You're kidding me, right?
Nope, I'm really not.
Uh-huh, sure. Look, just tell James that I'll be home in a few days and we can talk everything over then, okay?
I don't know why you won't believe me. He's asked me to tell you that he wants a divorce. That's the be-all and end-all of the matter.
Look, not to be mean, Marcus, but this wouldn't be the first time that you've tried to meddle in my relationship with your brother. I want to talk to him about this first before anything else happens. That way, I can get the whole story, and me and James can work on it from there together, okay?
Okay, but don't say I didn't warn you.
Uh-huh, okay, I won't. Marcus? What is going on? Why is my house saying that it's been sold? And where are all of my things? I've tried to message James, but he's not answering. What on earth is going on?
Oh, so you finally decided to return home, huh? It's about time.
Marcus, this isn't funny. What's happened?
I did tell you that James said he wanted a divorce. He decided that if you weren't gonna stay home and look after the house like you should, then you shouldn't have a house to call your own.
So he sold it? How did he even do that so quickly?
Well, he didn't want to live with you any longer, so he put the house up for sale at a very cheap price. He thought that the sooner he could get out, the better. Of course, with how expensive houses are at the minute, and with how cheap yours was on sale for, it got snapped up right away. James now lives with me whilst he looks for somewhere new to live.
I can't believe he's done something like this. All because I went to spend some time with my dad and visit my mom's grave?
Yeah, well, it's taught you a valuable lesson, hasn't it?
What?
Yeah, you should do what your husband tells you to, if you want to live a happy life. My brother earned all of the money for that house, and you couldn't even be bothered to clean it and keep it tidy like he asked for? You're not fit to be a wife or to have a house.
So James just sold it?
Yep, but you know what that means now, don't you?
What?
All the people have moved, leaving you homeless. So, get out of my brother's life, you leech.
You know what? Got it. Goodbye.
Huh? You're just gonna agree like that?
It's what he wants, isn't it? And to be honest, at this point, I'm feeling the same way.
Well, no, you're supposed to beg and plead for James to take you back and then promise him that you'll do everything and anything you can to keep him happy so that something like this doesn't happen again.
Yeah, that's not happening. If he wants a divorce, And if he's going to act in such a selfish, horrible, and immature way, then he can have his stupid divorce. I don't want anything to do with him anymore.
You can't do that. I told him that you'd come running back to him, begging him to take you back if he did what I told him to. You need to just stop being so hard-headed and thinking that you're on the same level as us men. It's not true. Your place is in the house, cooking and cleaning and making sure that her husband is happy. That's what a good wife should do.
Well then, I guess that means I'm a terrible wife, doesn't it? And if what you said is how a true wife should act, then I'm glad to disappoint you and your brother.
But you'll be homeless if you don't apologize to James.
Actually, I think you'll find that I'll be just fine. I'm the one who earned the most out of me and James, and my dad will be more than happy to let me live with him whilst I look for a new place. I'll be perfectly fine, thank you.
But what am I going to tell James? He's waiting for you to come groveling to him. I can't have him living with me.
Well, that's too bad, isn't it? You should have thought about that before you tried to do this little scheme of yours. But I guess you've done me a huge favor, so thank you for that. Now I can truly see just how awful my life would have been if I stayed with someone like James. I would have been miserable. Anyway, goodbye, Marcus. I'm glad I won't have to deal with you as a brother-in-law anymore. You're truly horrible.
No, wait, Selena, you can't just go. It's not allowed.
I can do whatever I want, actually. I'm a free woman now. Goodbye.
Selena, look, Marcus told me what happened this morning between you and him and how you're not answering his calls or texts anymore.
Oh, James? Finally talking to me, are you? Now that your messenger can't do it for you.
Yeah, about that. It was all just a misunderstanding. Why don't you come home and we can sort it all out, yeah?
You sold our home, remember?
Oh, yeah. How about I come to you then? You're at your dad's house, right? I can stay there with you and we can work things out.
No thanks. There's nothing to work out. Especially with the behavior you've shown me lately.
Oh, come on, please. If you don't, then I'll be homeless. Marcus is kicking me out, saying that he doesn't want to share his home with me as it's his own private space. You have to take me back. I'm your husband.
No, you were horrible to me at a time when I could have really used your help. Not to mention the fact that you tried to manipulate me into begging you to take me back. You've made your bed. Now you have to lie in it, without dragging me down with you.
That's not fair.
It's completely fair, and you're entirely not my problem anymore. So please stop messaging me. I'll send the divorce papers to your brother's house. So make sure you sign them, otherwise I'll have to get lawyers and courts involved and everything. Anyway, goodbye, James. Have a nice life. After that, I sent James the divorce papers, which he signed for me simply to avoid going to court over it. Luckily, his mom let him move back home until he could find a new place to live. I might not like him anymore, but I'm glad he doesn't have to sleep on the streets. Although, it's going to take him quite a bit of time to get enough money for a house of his own. But that's his own fault. James still hasn't found someone that actually wants to be with him, and I doubt he will with the sexist way he thinks. As for me, I've managed to get my own flat nearby my dad. Now I'm able to see him more often, and I'm able to visit my mom's grave as much as I want to. I also feel a lot happier and a lot less stressed now that I'm single. Leaving James was a huge weight off my shoulders, and I'm glad to finally be doing something interesting with my life. It's never too late to start again.